Hello, it's your old pal Panda. You can't really turn on the news much lately, whether it be on, the internet or TV or hell, even Facebook, without seeing the occasional, more and more frequent posts about Bill Cosby and the alleged sexual misconduct or sexual assault, rape. And I hate to say that so nonchalantly, but there's been a ton of claims that have more and more recently been coming out. So I figure I'd talk about it for a second, and not so much the actual rape or the allegations themselves, because I'm not an expert on any of these claims right now, and I haven't really read into them just because they're coming left and right, and I can't, get heads or tails of what people are saying. But I would like to talk about the power of arrogance and self righteousness. And I think that's where I'm going to go with this. And I think Bill Cosby is a great example of that. Before I start, I will admit that I am a very big Bill Cosby fan. You're not going to find too many bigger. I've probably seen literally every episode of The Cosby Show. I've listened to Bill Cosby himself more times than I can count. I've even got it on vinyl, autographed. I love Bill Cosby, But as time has gone on, I've really separated the entertainer from the man. And by that I mean, like a lot of people, they get a certain level of success, which is great. People that work hard deserve successes. But with that, sometimes arrogance comes into play. The more popular you get, the more people listen to what you've got to say, be it right, wrong, or indifferent. He had a huge amount of success in the 80s with The Cosby Show. You couldn't go through life in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, without seeing Bill Cosby in some form. We had Fat Albert, we had, picture pages, we had, Jello pudding all over the place, a TV show. It keeps going. I mean, Bill Cosby was a mainstay. He was a very popular entertainer, and arguably still is. But with that, as I say, I want to separate the entertainer from the man. As we've gone more towards present times, we've seen a different Bill Cosby. Some would say older and wiser, but if you really start listening to him, he sounds very self-righteous, very arrogant. He constantly has negative things to say about the black community. And it doesn't take much more than a Google search to find some of the disparaging remarks that he's had to say. Some may be valid, some may not. Who am I to really say? It's opinions at the end of the day. I can't say his opinion's wrong. It's his to have. But what I've found with most people, when they start really putting those opinions out there so much, and really that sense of self-righteousness, it really makes me question their character as a whole. It feels, and history has kind of proven this theory right, of people who constantly want to tell you how to live your life and how wrong things are that you are doing. Those are usually the people that have quite a bit of skeletons in their closet. They've done some shit in their time. I'm not free of sins and things. I've done my share of stuff that I regret. Some stuff that, I won't talk about on this forum right now, but we all have. But when these people, let me backtrack a little bit. There's a little bit of a difference between doing something that you're not exactly proud of and learning from that and moving on, and then becoming so self-righteous in the fact that you need to just stay in people's asses and tell them, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, this is wrong, that is wrong. Like, who the fuck are you? For Bill Cosby, a lot of these remarks that he said, I've just always questioned, why are you so adamant about saying this? It feels more like he's trying to hide stuff and cover stuff up. We see it not just, I don't want to just pick on him either in this subject, but we've seen it in a lot of people. We've seen it in politicians. We've seen it in our religious leaders. These people that want to put out there and say, you shouldn't do this, and I'm going to pass this law to stop that, or the Bible says this, and not everyone, but quite a few, they get caught in something that they would normally have preached against. And I say preach in the broad sense, not in the religious sense. But they'll start saying things and they'll get caught up in the same bullshit that they're telling other people not to do. It's very hypocritical. Now, the reason I say that I've always kind of wondered about Bill Cosby is because of who he is. And by that, I've been going way back. What a lot of people tend to forget is Bill Cosby's a brother from Philly. He's seen some shit and done some dirt in his time. There's almost no doubt in my mind, just from the environment and his own tales and recollections of things. But I think who forgets that Bill Cosby's from Philly the most is Bill Cosby. He would rather condemn people than try to help them, it seems. He, instead of really using his successes and experiences as a platform to help people, it's like he would rather condemn. So, without rambling too much about this, because I'm good at that, when I see all these allegations against him coming forward, I can't completely doubt them. And I think it would be wrong to, This Bill Cosby, one of my favorite people in the universe. The Bill Cosby that has done some other things, whether we know for sure or not. And we can take away the sexual allegations for a moment. And I'm not trying to marginalize them at all, but just for the sake of argument, just some of the other things he said and remarks he's made, we can look at, hell, he made a kid at Notre Dame cry years back because the dude who busted his ass to get into Notre Dame and make good grades and graduated with a 2.5, and Bill Cosby clowned him on stage, basically, and told him, 2.5 ain't shit. You should have applied yourself more. And stuff like that. Like, who the fuck are you? And if you don't believe me, Google that shit too. You'll find all kind of results on that one as well. But who are you when you should be taking that success and going, you know what? You may have got a 2.5. But you got that 2.5. You graduated from Notre fucking Dame. Okay? It's not like the kid just graduated from some random online university. The dude graduated from Notre Dame, a very esteemed institute, And Bill Cosby would rather take his moment, and by his, I mean Bill Cosby's moment, to really shine and give a message to the masses and just browbeat this kid. And that's not right. So I don't like Bill Cosby the person. I said it. There you go. I don't like Bill Cosby the person. Bill Cosby the entertainer is pretty fucking awesome. Or at least he was. I don't know if that man exists anymore. It's kind of like Michael Jackson. I was a huge fan of Michael Jackson. That man's music's amazing. And, up to and including the Bad album. Probably anything after Bad, not so much. But anyway, I have to separate the entertainer and the man. And I hate that because we want them to be one and the same, It's that old saying, never meet your heroes. And it kind of rings true here because we see these entertainers on TV or on radio or on the internet or what have you. And we get this vision. And we want them to be that all the time. And maybe it's our fault a little bit. We kind of paint them in a corner. And we only want to accept that one vision that we have of them. We want to see that Bill Cosby sitting on stage with a mic every now and then grabbing a glass of drink to quench his thirst as he speaks to us and entertains us. And we kind of forget that these same entertainers can be into some foul shit. And again, I'm not free of issues and problems and sins or whatever we want to throw out here. But I'm not going to profess that I'm perfect. And I'm not going to get up here and preach that you should do this or you shouldn't do that. Or that 2.5 GPA wasn't worth a shit. Nah, fuck that. So I guess I'm asking people right now to separate them a bit. Because we need to. people are focusing more on the entertainment aspect of it and cheering and applauding things he's done in the past and saying there's no way it's possible that that man could have done this. But it's very possible because we don't know Bill Cosby. We know Cliff Huxtable. We know himself. We know Fat Albert. We know the guy on picture pages. But none of us really know Bill Cosby. And none of us really know these politicians or these religious leaders or whomever it may be. The list can go on and on and on. So we really need to stop and separate them before we start coming to the defense of people instead of characters. Cliff Huxtable wouldn't have done any of this stuff that was mentioned. Cliff Huxtable was a great man. Bill Cosby? I don't know. And I don't know if we'll ever know because there are so many allegations coming out. And some people will come out and say that things happen just to get attention. I know that. And I might get beat down for even just saying that. But it's the facts. And I'm not going to say he didn't rape somebody or didn't assault somebody. I would say based on paying out, and this is just opinion, I'm not saying it's fact, but when you're paying people hush money, you probably did something wrong. Like taking a plea deal. You didn't say you were guilty necessarily. I pled no contest, but if you really didn't do it, why not just go to court? People say, well, you don't want to get dragged through the mud because they could cancel your TV show, they could cancel this, they could cancel that. I would rather have my name good and be able to look back and go, you know what? I may have lost that deal, but I'm not whatever people claimed I was. Instead of having that cloud over you the rest of your life and people always wondering, the forever that asterisk by your name where people just kind of, oh, shit, did he? I don't know. Just some food for thought, a little bit of a ramble. I don't take notes or do outlines. I just speak off top. So, got any questions? Feel free to ask them. Share this out. Do whatever you want to do. I don't really get anything from this. Just thought I'd talk about it because it's very relevant. If there's something you'd like to hear me talk about, and it can be any kind of issue at all, let me know. I'll consider it. And I can talk my ass off. So until next time, take care of yourself and each other. So long.